Noah frowned and said, "Could it be that Elaine and Charlie are so cheap?" Horiah said, "I can trouble them in other places. Besides, the Wu family is going to kill them behind the scenes. Enmity can definitely be reported, but that matter should never be mentioned again." In fact, Horiah still has a worry in her heart. If she mentions the black coal kiln, and then brings out the past with the supervisor, how can she gain a foothold in the Wilson family? Noah heard what she said also made sense, nodded lightly and said, "Okay, then everyone will understand and pretend to be confused about this matter." The next day, the family of 5 returned to Orus Hill in the Wu family's car. On the way back, the Wu family did not arrange a private jet to send them. They did not even arrange a Rolls-Royce, but directly sent a Buick GL8. Mrs. Wilson is very dissatisfied with this Buick GL8. When they came, Rolls-Royce went to the airport, private jet to Suzhou, and then Rolls-Royce to Wu's villa. The specs and pomp was really impressive and enjoyable. Now it's fine, and they just got a broken car worth 200,000 or 300,000, and dismissed the family of 5. The feeling of sitting in this car is very different from that of Rolls-Royce. But because the driver of Wu's family was driving in the car, she just dared not say anything. It takes about 4 or 5 hours to drive from Suzhou to Orus Hill, so when they arrived in Orus Hill, it was past noon. The driver sent them to the gate of Thompson, gave them several sets of access control cards and keys, and said to them, "Mr. Regner's intention is to let you live in today and invest in the affairs of your Wilson Group. He will send someone tomorrow to deal with it." "Great." Old Mrs. Wilson was very excited, nodded and said, "Thank Mr. Regnar for helping us. Tell him, we will definitely live up to his expectations." The driver nodded and drove away. The 5 members of the Wilson family swiped the access card and stepped into the Thompson Villa area. When they came to Thompson again, each of them was very embarrassed. When they came to Thompson the past few times, they were very jealous and hated in their hearts. Now they also have a Thompson first-class villa. The most exciting of them is Mrs. Wilson. She is looking forward to living in the Thompson villa. She has been looking forward to it for a long time. So the old Mrs. Wilson walked in the middle, grandson Harold and granddaughter Wendy supported her on the left and right sides. Noah and Horiah also held hands with each other, looking affectionate. Mrs. Wilson felt that her current self was like the empress from history back then. Walking in such an ultra-luxury villa area, it was really majestic and full of self-confidence. Excited, she couldn't help sighing. "It would be great if I could meet the bitch Elaine. I want to make her feel uncomfortable." Wendy smiled and said, "Grandma, don't forget, her leg was kicked off by you. I guess she is crying on the bed at home right now." Everyone laughed. Harold suddenly pointed to the side of the greenbelt on the roadside ahead, and a woman with a one-handed crutches blurted out, "Damn, isn't that the bitch Elaine?" At this moment, Elaine had lunch and was directing Charlie, carrying an iron bucket and a shovel, to dig soil in the green belt of the villa area. In the past 2 days, Elaine had nothing to do. She couldn't go out to play even if her leg was broken. She was bored at home and used her circle of friends. She found a female friend who hadn't dealt with much before and bought a villa in the suburbs. She planted a lot of fruits and vegetables in the yard of the villa, and shared photos of those fruits and vegetables to her circle of friends. Many people gave her a thumbs up, saying that she is smart and understands life. Elaine was very jealous, so she wanted to grow vegetables and fruits in the villa yard. But she broke a leg. How can she shovel the ground? So this kind of work can only be arranged by Charlie. Charlie originally didn't want to kill her. After all, he had already had a showdown with her last time. After living in his own villa, he would be polite to her, so he wanted to tell her, but there was no way. But when his wife Claire heard that her mother wanted to grow some fruits and vegetables, she also felt that this kind of thing could edify her sentiment and could make her stay at home honestly, so she came forward and asked Charlie for help. Charlie only agreed. In his opinion, it would be nice to let Elaine not keep moths all day long and let her grow vegetables. So after eating, he helped her, shoveling a lot of soil into the villa, and already circled a place to make a vegetable garden. Elaine was driving the crutches and said to Charlie, Dig a piece of loess. Don't forget the black soil. The black soil smells bad. Charlie nodded, and lowered his head to dig the soil without speaking. Elaine hesitated for a moment, and asked him carefully in a negotiating tone, "Charlie, can I discuss something with you?" Seeing that her attitude was good, Charlie said lightly, "If you have something to say, I will listen." Elaine accompanied with a smile and said, When you have time, drive to the countryside and find an old farmer in the countryside to buy some vegetables and fruits, and the whole tree connected with the roots.